Guys, I know I was on my break when the riots happened in LA, but boy, did I watch it. And boy, was it entertaining. There was some crazy shit, man. They were burning fucking autopiloted fucking cars, bro. I'm sure there's a bunch of, Door Dashers that saw what was happening in the streets and are like, well, shit. They're helping my cause. Maybe they fucking went out there and helped them. Who knows? They might have brought a Mazel Tov or something. But apparently, this just ended his career, and I guess they're talking about the governor, not Arnold. He's not the governor anymore.
Whoever is telling Governor Gavin Newsom
he's
got a chance at being president has to be playing the longest practical joke ever.
I don't understand how they thought he was going to run for president to begin with, because they've already, I know the LA riots aren't the newest topic of LA, but let's just think back to 2020 and just work our way all the way back to present time, 2025. There is so much bullshit and it's insane, bro. I don't know how he would think he'd be president. I don't know why someone would want him to be president to begin with, because obviously California's not been in the best state lately, has it?
These anti-ICE riots were ravaging Los Angeles, digging his most populated city even deeper into debt.
Yeah, I think she's done too, bro. Straight up.
Already on top of turning his state's $100 billion surplus into a $73 billion deficit.
What?
Is he focused on actually fixing the situation for his citizens? No. He's busy suing Fox News.
These guys go after me 24/7.
You are the guy when you mandated all these, COVID curfews and stay in your house and all that kind of stuff, with COVID. You were the guy that was out and about, having a good time with your friends, So I don't know why you think, why do people think I'm a bad guy? Like, come on, bro. Come on. You get it. You just have to put on this fucking fake ass mask every fucking day and act like, I don't understand. Why are they mad at me?
Pinata, it's a defamation lawsuit because they willfully and knowingly distorted facts. They lied about a phone call that never occurred between the President of the United States and myself.
And I think it is also hilarious that this guy thought it was a great idea for him to do long form podcasting. I don't even know how long his podcasts are, but I just see so many clips of his podcast and people just roasting him. Like, it's really doing him a disservice at the end of the day. Like, I get it, he wants to come off cordial and, be more relatable and stuff like that, but that's not the way to do it. I would probably try to go on more solidified and already established podcasts, like maybe Joe Rogan, for instance. But you're not going to do that because he's the horse dewormer guy.
I have a lawsuit against Fox News for lies, for deceit.
As this literally looks like all he's doing now. Where you look at his personal social media account, all he does is constantly...
that is crazy. Like, the amount of YouTube apologies I've seen in my life are fucking cringe. But never in my life have I seen someone's feed just constantly be someone apologizing in different frames. Like, what is this? Fucking 3 different frames of like...
Seat.
As this literally looks like all he's doing now. Where you look at his personal social media account,
2.
all he does is constantly repost and highlight his lawsuit, which isn't much better than the official governor's account that is pretty much...
Okay, so he's not apologizing. I don't know. It just the way he was looking, it looked like one of those, I'm sorry, I'll do better type of videos.
Exclusive.
But obviously he wouldn't do that because that means you would be accountable, right? We don't want to be accountable in California. No. That's not what our
crying
people
about
want.
President Donald Trump. There's some very serious issues in California,
Ooh.
But the only thing their leader is concerned with is vanity, as he's suing Fox News for $787 million, citing Politico's articles saying it's a defamation case regarding a Trump phone call, but most importantly, stating that he will drop the lawsuit if Fox News retracts its claims and they apologize to Newsom on air.
I mean, to be fair to the guy, that is actually a good way of handling it. But still, should you be suing him in the first place? And this is a very interesting topic because I watched the Joe Rogan Experience with Bernie that came out. I haven't watched many in a while, but they did talk about the lawsuit that Trump is having with certain media companies and other stuff as well. like 60 Minutes and stuff like that. But it is actually kind of very interesting because when you think about being an American, there's a lot of rights that you have, and freedom of press is one of them. So where does that line stop? And this I think is going to be very, very interesting to see how all of this unfolds.
Which only proves that this is strictly about vanity. He could be focused on fixing homelessness, the deficit, the incoming gas crisis that he's created.
I know how you could actually fix the homelessness, and I don't know if homeless people would do this, but if you do have a city that's run on illegal immigration, it's a national hub, they claimed, and it is, you got California, LA, you have New York, and those are actually two of the biggest cities that are, kind of run and fueled by illegal immigration. I don't know about New York City, but I know that LA has a lot of homeless, a lot, and if you took away the people that were illegal, well, there would be a power vacuum, there would be a workforce vacuum, and who could fill those shoes? Oh, I don't know, the people that are unemployed. Now, would they want to do that? Shit, I don't know what the government checks look like or how they're, getting by, but I would assume if they want to, be part of the workforce, that they would. But maybe they don't want to be part of the workforce. Maybe that's because the way they handle the homeless to begin with is actually corrupted itself. I don't know. I'm just assuming we have this huge problem that has continually gotten worse over time. And when I think about this, like the first when I think about homeless in general, I think about veterans and stuff like that. That's like the first concept of homeless that I can think about, like Vietnam and stuff like that. The amount of those guys that came back and became homeless. Like, how do you fix the homeless in California? Are there any actual, good suggestions by these people? I've never heard one.
Basically anything other than trying to bring in $700 million from Fox, which isn't even 0.1% of his billion-dollar shortfall.
Oh.
And I understand those calculations probably aren't correct, but I graduated from California public school, so if anything, me not being math Asian is his fault.
And I want to be straight up, I do not, hate California or anything like that. I don't like how they run things, and there's a lot of things out there. I would never live in California. I would never live there. I know a lot of people out there that I love tremendously, and I have a lot of love for them. Some great people out there, some shitty people out there, some amazing weather, some shitty infrastructure, way too expensive for my blood. Fuck all that. So, that's just me.
Alongside me, bad grammar. But why exactly is Newsom suing Fox News over Jesse Waters?
When is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago.
It's crazy when the fires happened, they were acting like they're boys, And then Newsom wouldn't even call in the fucking National Guard. It's crazy. He had to do it. The orange guy. The guy that looks like my t-shirt. He had to call in the National Guard. That's crazy, bro.
Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job.
Yeah, he is.
Where Newsom replied, there was no call, not even a voicemail. Only for Trump to post his phone records of a 16-minute call he had with Newsom.
Damn.
Now that image doesn't really prove anything, but Newsom being so adamant
I mean, it kind of does.
that he's not lying about a phone call just reminds the public of a time that he definitely lied about a Trump phone call.
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
There's no way this is real. How did I not know about this? Are you fucking kidding me? This is during the fires, bro. Dude is so nonchalant, just lying about doing his job when the fucking... The whole fucking state that he's supposed to be governing is just burning. Bro. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the
Why
call.
is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I don't have service. I wish we could see this service, bro.
to get cell service.
How many bars
In
you got?
seconds, Newsom went from, I'm literally talking to the president right now, to getting lightly challenged over his lie, transforming his response to,
Oh,
I've
no.
tried 5 times, but I can't get service. The
Yep.
simple fact that he could boldly lie to her face, then transition into the next likely lie.
What a shady fucking slimy dude, bro. And this is a guy that people wanted to prop up and be like, oh, this is the guy that could do the job that Kamala couldn't. beat Trump, because obviously Trump's gonna run again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Trump's not gonna run again, but JD's probably gonna run, and I think there's a lot of people out there that will vote for the babyface JD. Babyface meme, bro. It's crazy.
Is all you really need to know about him. As a couple weeks ago, he cried about the ranch fire in Southern California, saying his National Guard fire crews were understaffed due to Trump's political stunt, only for leftism to call him out for disbanding the state's wildfire fighting team last year, then thoroughly dismantling everything about Newsom's claims, how he still had
your own people. Leftyism? Jesus Christ.
Has 20,000 guardsmen left, but instead of deploying them, he's too busy tweeting at the president. It's almost like every time his cities catch on fire, he doesn't see it as a disaster, but a political opportunity, as when the wildfires hit.
Can you impeach a governor? Because this guy needs to be fired, bro. I just want to hear Trump say that shit one more time.
Los Angeles 5 months ago.
Oh my God.
He was seen seemingly dancing when talking about land grabs.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has.
Bro is dancing like a fucking toddler about to eat some fucking food or something. About to, you know, unwrap the presents under the tree. That is fucking disgusting.
It's around speculators coming in, buying up properties.
And when Los Angeles again was on fire due to the anti-ICE riots, he was reportedly too busy to respond as he was out wine tasting. But
bro, California could be an amazing state. It could be a very, very good state. It's a shame the culture y'all have developed.
When Vice President J.D. Vance came by to thank the Marines that were saving the city, suddenly Newsom had all the time in the world to come through for a debate. And notice how this marathon of bad press all comes back only after Newsom says he wants to sue Fox News over a phone call. As when you have such...
I think Newsom, it's like when you... He's in a situation where he's been propped up to be the guy everyone assumes to be the Democratic nominee to go up in the election for the next presidency in 2028. It just feels like that is the case. And I think that's gotten to his head where he doesn't even give a fuck because he thinks he's already solidified to at least be the nominee. So it seems like he's really focused more on the world than his own state. Or not the world, but the country as a whole than his own state, which is a shame because you need to be able to fucking do your job and then move up the ladder first. You know, it's like a guy that gets promoted, but he has like a 3-month, you know, time limit on that kind of promotion before he moves up the ladder, right? And he's constantly just blowing off, doesn't give a fuck, right? You know, people are saying, oh, what's going on? Are you working, doing your job? And it's like, yeah, I'm doing it right now. And, you know, you catch him in the lie. It's just fucking, bro, this is like a little kid, bro.
A large track record of failures.
Crazy.
Literally everything you say or do becomes a minefield of reminding your voters about the last time you fucked up the state. As his wine tasting fiasco just reminds us of when he ordered the state to lock down while he dined out at a fancy French laundry.
This is when I found out who this guy was, and I lost all respect. There was like, I didn't know who he was, but like the possibility of having respect for this guy went out the window immediately. And the pandemic specifically in California and how they handled it, I think is fucking concerning because there's a lot of people that were in their houses constantly. You know, people's restaurants went under. You know, people were moving to Texas just to fucking be outside, be inside and wear a mask type shit. It's fucking nutty, man. It really is. Because seeing all the shit that was happening around the world and in the country during the pandemic, and it was so night and day because, like, Texas was still open. There was a period where if you weren't an essential worker, then you didn't get to work, but that was over pretty quickly. And, you know, I was essential, so I was able to work. And, you know, when I would bump into people out and about, I mean, the streets were fucking empty. It was great. No traffic and stuff like that. You know, I got to spend more time outside. it was a wonderful time, honestly. It was sad that the people like were obviously dying from this shit, and then the whole propaganda shit about if you're not vaccinated, you're trying to kill people, and then it kind of that fucked people up, because there's a lot of people that lean left in Texas, and I had some friends that kind of like I hanged out with at one point, and they like pretty much breathed down my neck and were telling me how much of a piece of shit I was for not getting a vaccination. Which it's crazy to see how that's aging now, and there's so many complications with it. But still, yeah, when this happened, bro, fuck this guy, bro. This shit pissed me off.
At the same time, somewhat apologizing for it.
And as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated. And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up and walked back, got in my car, and drove back.
This is crazy because there's a lot of people that I used to watch that used to do podcasting or whatever it might be, and they would have to like do it at their house, and that was like the only way for them to get out. Like they were policing the streets and shit like that. Like they were on lockdown. Like in Texas, during lockdown, people were hanging out with each other, going to each other's houses and shit like that. And it's insane, bro. It's crazy how like night and day the difference was in California, and it lasted so long over there. And so many people still wear masks because of the fear of COVID and slowing down the spread. Like, Jesus.
You can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, but the spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted, and I got to own that. And so I want to apologize to you.
And recently on his podcast, regretting it.
You're whining and dining at French Laundry.
Yes, I was talking about the importance of never. Dumbest bonehead move of my life. Okay, own it, move on, grow up. And I'm trying to.
Is that you talking to yourself?
That's me talking to myself. Okay. I'm looking right at you in the eyes as I say that.
I'm so glad he's forgiven himself over this, just smiling and laughing as if he didn't destroy businesses and livelihoods over a sickness that he himself didn't seem too concerned about.
And honestly, in reaction to that, y'all caused a huge possible housing crisis in Austin, Texas. Huge issue.
Well, the big takeaway from his podcast with Charlie Kirk, where he sweat through his shirt, is Kirk remarking that Newsom wants to be president more than any living person, but no amount of podcast appearances or news network apologies is going to cancel out his career of failures.
This guy.
Like his 2008 solution to solve homelessness.
Food
I thought that was Bill Nye for a second.
That shelters solve sleep.
Show me a
and
science
that housing
trick, bro.
solves homelessness. And that's why we established this framework, what we call a 10-year plan to end
How'd that work out?
chronic homeless in San Francisco.
And after tens of billions of dollars spent with no real tracking in place, it only appears to be getting worse. Alongside his 2010.
Well, here's the problem with that. When you have a situation in infrastructure where people are profiting off of homeless and their job is to remove homeless, well, if they're profiting and making a good living off of that, you have a problem that's keeping you employed. If you solve the problem, you're not employed anymore. Are you gonna solve the fucking problem? Well, a lot of people won't.
And plan to complete the high-speed rail.
Come on, bro.
I am sick and tired of hearing about how wonderful the transportation system is in France and Japan, and have you been to Shanghai, or do you know what they're doing in Beijing? Well, finally, California is going to get it right with this new high-speed rail.
Which has also spent $15 billion with a completion date of 5 years ago, so no wonder Newsom seems so adamant to stop Fox News from criticizing him. And even if he won this lawsuit, and Fox News was scared away from ever criticizing him again, it still wouldn't change the fact that the #1 news app is X, which actually makes this doubly hilarious, as if this video makes it to 500,000 to 1 million views. You know Newsom's team will have to pass along what's being said here, as it is sort of the pulse of what the internet is feeling, and me calling him Newsom isn't to be mean, it's to highlight how mentally weak he is.
I've been living with that for years and years, Newsom, the same 7th grade. I remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue.
He does not like his nickname. He don't like it. Everyone's got that nickname that like your last name, it rhymes off the tongue like that. And so I've got one. It's when people call me, it's just like these fuckers are stupid. I was being called this like in 2nd grade. Like, come on, bro, think of something better. But New Scum, like, he does not like this at all. This isn't something he just laughs off, bro. Like, if I was friends with the guy, I would be calling him that shit because damn, look how fucking irritated it is. I would just like to poke that button just every now and then.
They called me New Scum. I was in 7th grade.
He's about to cry.
I can handle that.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave that aside.
As he
what? Doesn't look like you can handle it.
Constantly complains about this.
Damn.
When I saw some tweet about Governor Newsom, a nickname, by the way, that's hardly original. There was an 8th grader.
Yep.
The American people just voted for a president that took a round to the face and stood up completely unfazed.
Bro, shout out to whoever called him that the first time ever, because you're a pioneer. Oh, man.
There's absolutely no way we're going to go from Trump to a guy that trauma dumps about his childhood bully whenever he's reminded of a nickname. So if you appreciate my concise, light-order commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Yeah. Bro, Decoy is phenomenal. I'm so glad that I found his YouTube channel. He does amazing commentary with political stuff. I was watching the fuck out of his stuff. Channel 5 as well, because it was cool to have different perspectives. But when this whole, like, LA riots was happening, it was insane. There's a lot of content I could have reacted to, I'm not going to lie, but I needed a break. Burnout's a real thing. Let's look at the comment section, though. He is a sociopath, period. A real clinical sociopath. The dude destroyed my state of California. I don't even want to imagine what he would do to the country as a president. Honestly, I don't want to see that shit either. I really hope the Simpsons don't have any fucking New Scum style presidents in their fucking show, because it seems like whatever the fucking Simpsons fucking print, that shit comes to life. But yeah, phenomenal video by Decoy. Go give him a sub. Go give him a like. Great video. My name is Trey Swish. I hope you like my commentary on this whole situation. Comment down below with what your takes on the LA riots in general. New Scum suing Fox, maybe even Trump suing other media companies. What's your perspective on the right to the press, the freedom of the press? Where does that line get broken? Where does that line in the dirt get abused? And sometimes it seems like people are stepping over it these days, or does it even get stepped over in general? Are they just almighty power that doesn't get checked at all? Shit, you let me know, man. My name is Trey Swish. Hit that sub button. Let's get to 1K. And yeah, like the video, comment, all that good stuff, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.